Have you ever thought about where you want to be buried when you die? I know this is one of those crazy, dark subjects that, you know, haunt so many families after a person's death, and yet nobody wants to talk about it, or yet so few talk about it. Well, we talk about controversial issues on this channel, and today I thought I'll touch on this subject because I know it affects a lot of people. I've been witness to so many families that have run into conflict in the diaspora over where to bury a family member that has died, whether the person should be buried in their country, in the country where they died. Let's say, for example, if it's in the UK, whether they should be buried in the UK, whether it's in Canada, if they should be buried in Canada. So many families, when they lose a family member, in the diaspora, the big question becomes, where will this person be buried? And so many times, that is a question that creates conflicts because usually people do not prepare ahead of time when they are still alive and strong to make those kind of decisions. The funny thing is, I know back when abantu who might say, yo, but why should I spend so much time thinking about where I want to be buried when I die? Well, because uchiyela abantu abaphila i-headache when you don't think about it yourself. You know, we spend a lot of time. In fact, Zimbabwean culture is such that almost every other person I know has got a burial society policy of some sort, some insurance policy of some sort, declaring how they want to be buried and the kind of casket that should be, bought for them, or so that will be used on them, and the actual the number of vehicles that are going to be available to carry people, the food that is going to be bought there. This is something that people don't have a problem thinking around. But yet, when it comes to the issue, in the diaspora, I think it becomes kind of a taboo subject because on the one hand, you are thinking, talking about it makes you kind of alienates you from your roots in a sense. So everybody is walking on eggshells when it comes to this subject until the day comes and a person dies, whether it is your spouse or your husband or your wife, whichever way you look at it. Then at that time, or maybe even your child or your parent, you are all in the diaspora, and one person passes away, and then all of a sudden all hell breaks loose, and everybody is scrambling all over the place trying to figure out what to do and where the best place is for that person to be buried. Because now you have to think, did the person love Zimbabwe so much, back home so much, that they would have wished to be buried there? Or is it just the wishes of the extended family that wants the person's body sent back home? Is it the wishes of the children? And then comes the causes of conflict in the families where, in a situation where the person is married. For example, the wife might be saying, listen, this person is my husband, will be buried right here in the United Kingdom where I am, or will be buried right here in Canada or in China where I am, and I don't want their body sent out to Zimbabwe. But then the parents, on the other hand, in Zimbabwe might be saying, no, we want our child, back here to be buried here. So these are the kind of conflicts that exist. And I know of a situation, for example, I think it was sometime last year or a couple of years ago, if I'm not wrong, where a family was in so much conflict that the person that was the cause of conflict, the deceased person, ended up being pretty much being buried within the midst of conflict between the wife and her children, estranged to the rest of the family, and the family on the other side in Zimbabwe saying, this person, we expect him here, and ngapha umfazi yena sithi no mina ngiyamngcwaba ngapha wagcina I think wagcina angikwazi wagcina echisiwe. I think the person ended up being cremated or something of that sort. So this is just an example of how nasty this question unresolved can really get. And by unresolved, I mean by the deceased prior to their death. So, ngezinye zezinto engithola ukuthi many people, don't talk about, it, and yet it matters so much. So, like we always say on this channel, we like to discuss some of these controversial issues. Abantu abangathandiyo ukukhuluma ngazo. This is one of those subjects I thought to trigger your thought on it. Hopefully, you have something to say about it. Please hit those comments. Tell us what you think. Do you think it is okay for us in the diaspora, for those in the diaspora, to actually make proper plans while they are still strong, not sick, healthy and fine, in the same way that you get your life insurance policy to protect the future of your children in the form of payout inheritances, in the same way that you have your burial societies in the diaspora. It is relevant for you to dictate the terms of where exactly you want to be buried, whether you want to be buried where your children exist, if they are already in the diaspora, or if your children are in the diaspora with your wife or your husband, because it could be either way. Do you want to be buried there? Do you have that in a will? Where is it written? Where is the rest of the family going to find out from the real fact of where you would have wished to be buried? This is a conversation that I would love to know how you guys think about it out there. I know it's a subject that is kind of tough. Many people don't have, don't speak about this. So yeah, let's talk about it. Ake lisitshele ukuthi lina licabangani. Siyekele ukupokela abantu sesingcwatshwe lapho singafuni ukungcwatshwa khona. So yeah, thank you very much. I would love to say again, if you enjoy the topics that we discuss on this channel, please hit that subscribe button, share the channel with your friends, hit the like button as well, and let's continue to grow our community together. Thank you so much.